Welcome to the Advance Impact Legacy Show. I'm super excited today to welcome our guest speaker and also our phenomenal authority in the world of, creating your life, living the life that you want, and anything is possible. A serial manifester, Sharan Sammi. Now, I just want to give a short intro on Sharan. She'll be sharing some of her story, some of her process, and a lot of her wins and the stuff she does with her clients. And she's also got some really cool offers for you, which she's generously put forward. We'll be displaying those. Sharan is just an incredible person who brings 20 years in the corporate banking side, so the business world, and also a considerable amount of time, 15 years plus, at the top end of personal development, including, theta trainer, Reiki master, master practitioner of NLP, intervention coach, strategic coach, and many, many other, pluralities that Sharan brings to the table. What I really love about Sharan is that she's living, breathing, and just, projecting her message in her own life with considerable results, including brand new homes, brand new cars, manifesting a top role in a UK, serial drama, which I think is just absolutely phenomenal, to meeting, her soulmate and the love of her life, and, being married happily with a family and everything else. And this is one of the reasons why clients all around the world, and we're talking Hollywood greats and people in business and people that are ready for the real stuff, seek Sharan out, because she's living, breathing with integrity her message. I'm really, really honored today to have Sharan on the show, and we're going to bring her on. So just one secondo. Just going to bring, hey Sharan, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm absolutely awesome. Thank you for bearing with us while we got the little tech issue sorted. You look amazing. I mean, how's life treating you right now?
Life is absolutely amazing. It's amazing. I just love each and every day. I love life and life loves me.
Absolutely. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really grateful that you consider spending time with us on the show. I think it's going to be of great impact and value to our viewers. And I know you really want to talk a little bit about, how to overcome difficult times. And you're the expert, like you're the person that's really, taken a life. You started as a hairdresser, at age 18, which is a great profession, by the way, guys. If you're a hairdresser out there, we love you and we love coming to see you, okay? But Sharan wanted to kind of bigger, deeper challenges. You hold 2 degrees, you're a mom, you're happily married, you live in the West Midlands, you have clients all around the world kind of chasing you to try and get some of your time, and you have incredible results. But I mean, you've also got this very bespoke process that, has allowed you in your life to create insane results, like literally, like huge results. And we'll be hearing a little bit about that. But what I want to do to start with, if that's okay, Sharan, is just kind of find out a little bit about who you are. So who is Sharan Sammi? Where are you from? What are those early defining moments? Could you sort of walk us through that? Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure. And thank you again for having me. It's been wonderful to be here. So as you've mentioned, I'm Sharan Sammi. So I'm from the West Midlands. You can probably tell if you're from the UK from the accent. From the West Midlands. I'm married and I've got 2 wonderful earth angels. I've got a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son, which, to be fair, that's my top value in life. My family, my children, that's what I live and breathe for. And like you mentioned at the start, my journey was basically 20 years in corporate banking, working in the financial markets team, which I did absolutely love with a passion, having gone to university, studied for four years, and then I landed 3 graduate jobs. And at that time, I was so extremely grateful. And absolutely, it was an amazing, achievement to have 3 graduate jobs. And I did, and I'm just going to go into the story if that's okay. I did what was known as the impossible. Okay. My family, my mom in particular, said to me, you should be grateful. You've got these 3 amazing jobs. Which one are you going to go for? And I said, well, actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-interview the managers and ask them, why should I work for you? Yes, I was extremely grateful. Don't get me wrong. I was really grateful. And they actually said to me, this has never happened ever, ever. And I said, well, I've never been offered 3 graduate jobs before, so I really need to be sure. So the result of that, Matthew, was that I secured a 9.9% pay rise before I had even stepped foot in the office in my early 20s, which was absolutely amazing. And then from then, 20 years in corporate and 15 years into that journey. So 15 years ago, I started my personal development journey. And at that stage, it was just a hobby. So if you're listening out there and you're wondering, sometimes why does the universe direct you down a particular path? And I had no idea why I was, on that pathway to become a Reiki healer master teacher, went into holistic healing, NLP, life coaching, all of that training whilst working full time in banking, getting married in between, having 2 wonderful children. And what I did was I spent my weekends, my evenings, even my annual leave, so taking holiday from work to go on these training courses, which then transpired years later to become my business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hats off to you for the journey, Sharon. I mean, it's really inspiring just listening to, how you've achieved that. And I love the fact that you've interviewed the interviewer. You've switched the table around, and master negotiator, obviously. And, guys, just to rewind, this would have been Sharon in her early 20s, where most people don't have a lot of confidence to go in front of a 40 or 50-year-old sort of panel of people assessing you, as if you're going to get a pass to come into their office. So hats off to you. Where did this confidence come from? I mean, this was kind of before your personal development journey per se. Yeah. Where did that come from?
Okay. So going back from what I can recall, from when I was about 6 or 7 years old, my mom came back from the shops and she had a magazine. I looked through the magazine as a child, just looking at the pictures, and there was a competition. And it was basically, you had to paint a picture of whatever you wanted to paint a picture of for obviously a prize. So I painted a picture of our local park, which my dad used to take me, my brother and sister to every Sunday. So I painted the picture and I put so much emphasis on the details, the colors, the emotions, the feelings, just at the age of 6 years old. My mom entered me into this competition, and it was for 4 tickets to Alton Towers, which is a major theme park in the UK. And I hadn't really, thought about the prize. I was just thinking, oh, my picture is amazing. My picture is brilliant, because my mom keeps telling me how good my picture is. And then about a couple of weeks later, my mom had a letter. She opened up the letter and I'd actually won the competition. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. This is absolutely awesome at the age of 6 years old. So then what transpired was that I started entering a lot of competitions at a young age. A lot of them, back then it was known as teletext. So I did a lot of
teletext. I remember it.
I'm talking 20 years ago. So no, I'm not. I'm talking almost 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. And it was teletext competitions, online competitions. Well, sorry, not online, because we didn't have online internet then. Newspapers. So a lot of different competitions. And what used to happen was, I was winning these competitions. So I was winning a brand new camcorder, money, toys, even tickets to Tom and Jerry, which are like fantastic, famous cartoon characters. Their annual birthday party in a local restaurant, which was amazing at the age of 8 years old, I think that was. Yeah. And so from then on, my mindset was everything I want, I get. Pretty much. And I came from a really good upbringing as well. But one person I am going to highlight, as well as my parents, is my mom's brother, my uncle. And at a young age, I think I was probably about 12 or 13, he spoke to me on the phone. He was actually in the Air Force. So he was serving at the Gulf War, the Falklands War. So, in the Air Force. And he'd rung the one day and he'd spoken to me. And he actually asked me what I got in some exam results. And I said to him at the time, I think I got a B. And he actually questioned me and he said, well, why didn't you get an A? And then I said to him, and I didn't realize at the time, but it was all my like inner fears and doubts. And I said, oh, but I'm not good enough to get the A. I'm not smart enough. I don't think I'm strong enough to get the A. So that's why I got the B. And then he drove it in me and he said, no, if you want to get the A, I'm getting a bit emotional. If you want to get the A, you can get the A. You've just got to work hard at it. You're capable. You've got the brain power. You've got the capability. You can do this, Sharon. You really can. So it was like having those role models around me that were really kind of rooting for me and instilling that confidence. So I think from a very young age, to answer that question, from a very young age, a lot of it was kind of being instilled in me without me kind of realizing what was going on. So I was just going through life with obviously looking at those role models, looking at, the inspiration I had from my parents and my siblings as well, and just going for it really.
Yeah, it's really a phenomenal journey that you've been on, Sharon. And just from my listening into you, because this is the first time I've heard this, okay, it's just incredible that it seems like you went on this journey of discovery. Yes, you had these fantastic role models. Yes, you had this family that were instilling values and confidence and strength into you, but you still went on this journey. And from the listening, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm really intrigued, okay? But it seems like you kind of learned how to be a winner at a really early age through these competitions and stuff. Is that right? Okay.
I did. And one thing, if I may, can I share another example?
Please.
And this was basically when I just left university and I just started my graduate job, having interviewed those managers and secured that 9.9% pay rise. And at the time, this was before my personal development journey, knowing about the law of attraction, the science to it and everything else, and the whole manifesting journey. But just before that, probably about 4 years before my personal development really kicked off, we were at this family meal. And this is really important because this was a real fundamental thing in my life that I can really remember. We went to this restaurant and my brother at the time, I think he was 18, and he turned up in his brand new car that he was given for his birthday by my parents. Okay. My sister had turned up and she's older than me, and she turned up in her brand new car. And then I turned up and I drove in the middle of my brother and sister. There was a car parking space and I drove up and I had my purple Ford KA, which was old, but I loved it with a passion because it was purple and I chose it and I bought it myself and I loved it. It was my passion, my car. Yeah. And my brother and sister, we're standing there in this restaurant car park, and my brother and sister are having their viewpoint. And they said, look at you. Look at our cars and look at you. You're the one that's finished university. You're the one that's got this top high-flying job. Look at your car. And I know it's really superficial. And I'm not into all these tangible items, etc. And at that point, a car was just a car. It didn't have status. It didn't have prestige to me. It was just a place you get from A to B. And it was purple. And that's why I loved that car. But in that moment, and this is the crucial moment here, this is one of my turning points, actually. My brother and sister said what they had to say. And I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to buy a brand new car. I'm not going to buy one like my sister did. My brother obviously was given it. So I literally looked at the sky, and I didn't have a clue here what I was doing. I looked at the sky, and in my mind, I said, universe. And I don't know where this came from. I just said, universe, I would like a brand new car. So please give me a brand new car. I'm not going to pay for it. I just want you to give it me. Thank you. And that's all I did. I said, just give me a brand new car. Thank you. And I let that go. And afterwards, I realized that was my order to the universe. And I completely detached from it. I carried on with the family meal. I carried on with my graduate job. I didn't think about the car because I loved the car that I had.
Right.
And then, should I tell you the end of the story?
You can't leave us hanging on a cliff here, right? So
fast forward. And I think it was probably about 11 months later. Fast forward 11 months later. And I didn't once think about sending this order to the universe, or I didn't think about the car. And then fast forward 11 months, And I'm driving from Birmingham all the way up to Leeds. That's in the UK.
Okay.
And I had a meeting. And I was driving my purple KA, absolutely loved the vibe and everything else, had my radio station on. And then all of a sudden, I'm going across this particular junction on the motorway, and the radio, it tunes out. And I'm like, what's happened to my music? What's happened to my music? And then all of a sudden, this station tuned in, and it was Huddersfield FM. And the person said, to enter the competition, dial this number. So I dialed the number. Okay, I dialed the number. And at that point, I had no idea really who I was ringing. I had no idea what the prize was. I had no idea what I had to do for the competition. It was just ring this number. So I was like, my intuition, ring the number. You need to ring the number, Sharon, ring the number. So I rung the number, and I didn't attach to anything like thinking, am I going to get through or am I not? And I got through. And the presenter said to me, right, you're going to go live in the next 2 minutes. You've got to crack a code in 30 seconds to win the prize. I didn't have time to say to him, what is the prize? So I'm straight on there. And then all of a sudden I cracked this code, which was the thing that you had to do. And then I was put forward with altogether, there was 24 people to win a brand new car on the 1st of September. I had to go to the Huddersfield showroom, which was a couple of weeks later. And I literally was there. There's 24 people, and this was to win Matthew a brand new car. So from 24 people, I went down to 16, then to 8 people, then to 4. Then there was 2 of us, and it was pure chance. It was like literally play your cards right. You know, you pick a card, higher or lower, and you go past, like cross a sequence of 6 cards, and the one that gets to the end wins the car. And I had my sister, my mom, my auntie, everybody there, and they were like saying to me, we haven't come all this way from the West Midlands for you not to walk away with this car. This car has your name on it. You've got to get this car now because we've come here to support you. So in my mind, I'm thinking, that car's mine. That car is mine. So I won the car. So I won the brand new car.
So you had a brand new car. Wow.
Yes. But one thing I'm going to caveat it and say, okay, now this is, and for all of you listening out there, manifesting, okay, you can get manifesting wrong. And although I won this brand new car, I'm going to tell you why I got this wrong. Because it wasn't the car I wanted. It was a Volkswagen. My parents said I should have been grateful. And I was truly grateful. But what you need to do when you're manifesting, sometimes you need to specify, like, what kind of car you want. You know, what kind of car you want. And I looked at the car. It was bright yellow. And I said to the showroom manager, I said, do I really have to walk away with a yellow car? And he said, well, that's the prize, but we can change it. I said, okay, we need to change the color because there's no way I'm going to be driving a yellow car. And so then long story short, what I did was I put it out to the universe again. And I said, universe, I really want a 2-seater sports car. I really want it in blue, and it has to look good. And, you know, I want a 2-seater sports car with a soft top so the roof comes off, and that's what I want. And 6 months later, I got another brand new car, which I bought, and that was my 2-seater sports car.
Incredible. This is incredible. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And this is before you'd studied anything or like gone on any courses?
Yeah, that was before all of that. And what I realized was basically you can manifest. And I didn't even realize it was called manifesting. I just thought it was called, you just get in it. You just get in all this stuff. You just get in it. Whatever you want, you can just get it. I didn't really realize it had a term like manifesting and the law of attraction and all of that lovely stuff. But then what I realized was in that moment that actually you can actually manifest the things that you don't want as well as the things that you do want. And that's when it really, really kind of dawned upon me. Actually, although this car was fantastic and I'm truly grateful, and the process I went through, which is a learning process that I teach my clients in itself, is that on the other side, you have to be careful what you wish for, and also the details of how you're actually expressing yourself to the collective consciousness, to the universe.
Wow. I mean, it's just an incredible, you know, testament to how powerful you know, this stuff really is. And Sharon, I mean, tell me, am I right here in suggesting that most people are using exactly the same law and principle, but because they're not in control of it and because they're not directing it, control is probably the wrong word, but because they're not directing it, they're getting results that they don't actually want. A little bit like your yellow car, your yellow Volkswagen, which was probably an upgrade, but it wasn't what you wanted, right?
No. And quite rightly with what you say, yes, each and every one of us in the whole world, every single one of us, we are manifesting. We're manifesting our destiny. We're manifesting each and every moment. It's a little bit like electricity, okay? It's there. It's there. We all have the benefit of using electricity, but we probably don't even know, you know, how it's created and all of that stuff, but we still use electricity. It's like gravity. You know, we may not know the whole scientific background of gravity, but it's there, it's living, it's breathing, it's within us, it's around us. And that's exactly like you say with the with manifesting and the law of attraction, because the thing here is, and the fundamental thing here is, we are in control of what we get, what we achieve, our destiny, call it, you know, each and every day. And it's the power of our thoughts. So for example, you know, people may be thinking, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough to buy this, to buy that. I just don't have enough money. Money never seems to stay with money. Money always seems to go. And because that's their mindset, thinking about money, what then happens is they see bills. You know, they've got an over you know, a electricity bill, or they've got a bill that was totally unexpected. They've got expenses, they've got fees, they've got other things that are coming, because what's happening there is they're projecting their thoughts to attracting the bills, because they're saying there's not enough. So the universe is saying, okay, well, there's not enough, so we'll give you not enough. We'll give you the lack. We'll give you the bills. We'll keep piling the bills up. Whereas with a simple tweak of the mindset to say, actually, money is flowing to me. I am abundant. And these, for those of you listening out there, these are actually mantras that I actually use each and every day. And one I will give you, which is so powerful, is I am a money magnet. Money flows quickly and easily and safely to me right now. And using the power of this each and every day, but actually feeling the emotion. Okay, so it's okay just saying the affirmation, but you've actually got to feel the emotion. Okay, and over time, you will really stimulate that emotion to believing it's true. And then you'll have checks. You'll have people buying you a Starbucks. You know, you'll go different places. And although it's not physical money, it can be what money gives you. You know, like the brand new car, or you can manifest like holidays, or you can manifest different opportunities in your life. So I've seen a vast range of how this works, and it's absolutely amazing.
Wow, this is so phenomenal. And if I might, I just want to share something really quickly. I've got a dear friend of mine, Denise Palmer Mystery. If you're listening, Denise, your answer has just manifested. She messaged me last week and said, Matt, you know, I want a mantra for money flowing into our business and stuff like that. And I said to her, Denise, give me a call tomorrow. And Denise gave me a call, and I said, ask your unconscious mind, because I can give you a mantra right now, but if you ask your unconscious mind, it will manifest quickly. And so I really believe here it is from Sharon. So it's working. You know? Isn't that incredible? So I thought I'd just share that. Sharon, tell me, I mean, there will be people that are watching this, that some of this will be a little bit of a stretch for them. And certainly 25 years ago, when I sort of opened my eyes to a lot of things, a lot of this would have been a little bit of a stretch for me, because being brought up in the UK, you want tangible, physical, logical, sequential, linear sort of stuff, right? But, you know, I've been in business a long time, and mainly directing sales teams, which is fun. And, you know, sometimes we have some of the best trained salespeople in the world, but then their energy goes, their mindset goes, and, you know, they just start manifesting all the stuff they don't want. And we literally plug them into this stuff, and our stuff is basic compared to Sharon's, right? So if you're listening to this, follow Sharon. She's one of the experts. She's the one that gets yellow cars and then gets much better cars, right? Okay. But we notice when we plug into this stuff, then, they just start, breaking records, creating sales from nowhere, and everything just starts to flow. And I really believe that the proof is in the results. And that's really why I wanted to get you, on the show. What would you say to those people out there that are in business, maybe entrepreneurs, maybe coaches, and things are maybe not flowing so well for them? We're going through difficult times, in terms of the environment, pandemic. What would your sort of counsel be to those people to sort of try this stuff, to start and start to create? What would your counsel be to those people?
Yeah. That's a really real big area, what you've just mentioned. And obviously we've gone through the pandemic. We're at the other side. We're not over yet. Worldwide. So it has impacted, everybody in society worldwide. But what I'm going to say here, especially with businesses, whether you're working for corporate, whether you're working for yourself, whether you're actually an employee, so you're looking to, to take your career to the next level, or even if you're looking to gain employment, okay, because this is going to affect each and every one of you. First of all, it comes down to, and I say it's the 80-20 rule, okay?
Right.
80-20 rule. And this is where, when I was in banking for the last 20 years, a lot of it used to be misaligned, where the 80% they used to think is strategy, okay? It's all the selling, the marketing, all of that. And the 20% is the mindset. Well, actually, it's the other way round. It's the 80%, which is the mindset, the energetic selling, selling from that intuitive perspective. And the 20% is actually, the knowledge of your products, of your services, and all of that lovely stuff. And when you marry the two together in the right percentages, the alignment is absolutely phenomenal. And so what I would say, first of all, is, and this is probably going back in my personal development journey 15 years ago, when I was actually in the banking environment, I was around, it was very male dominated, okay, very male dominated. And I found as well the balance of the masculine energy and the feminine energy, which we all have, male or female. We have the masculine, which is very the do, the strong, the empowerment, we have to create things, we have to do it, all of that energy, compared to the feminine of actually being just open to receiving the flow energy. And it's basically making sure that those two are balanced in both male and female. Now, the first thing I would probably mention is, if I was to say to you, and I'm going to use you as an example, Matthew. So if I was to say to you, okay, now it may not work because obviously you've been a part of this journey, the personal development journey and everything. But if I was to say to you, how are you today?
I'm really well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so you're really well. So when somebody used to ask me that question 16, 17 years ago, I used to say to them, I'm not bad. I'm tired. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm all right. That kind of thing. And I used to have the whole, the physiology. So my shoulders used to be dipped, used to be my eyes. I used to not give no eye contact. It was my whole frame, my physique, etc. And then I did go on this course, and it was such a simple course. Okay. And the guy in the middle, he was very extroverted, and he said the exact same thing to me, Matthew. He said, how are you all today? And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, he must love himself so much. What planet is he on? Is he on some sort of happy pills? Because I'm tired. I'm just okay. And I looked at this guy and I thought, oh gosh, he loves himself. I'm not too sure I'm in the right place here. And this is what the corporate executives need to get on to, these type of courses. And I tell you why. And I tell you why. It's because that in itself changed my whole life as a starting point, because I made it a challenge for myself, and I went into the office and I thought to myself, if somebody asks me, how am I today? I'm not going to say I'm tired, because self-fulfilling prophecy, manifesting, I'm tired. So I'm always tired. The universe is always giving me things to be tired about. I'm tired. I've got no energy, low impact. Whereas if I change the tweak to a negative to a positive, just in your words, just in that simple sentence as a starting point, how are you? I'm great. because you are great. You're walking, you're talking, you're living, you've got your physical senses, you've got food, you know, all of that stuff. And I'll come on to gratitude in a moment, but you're great. And then, like, so I say to my clients when they work with me, I say, how are you today? And they'll say, I'm okay, Sharon. And I'll say, can you give me something better than okay? And they'll say, I'm good. Can you give me something slightly better than good? I'm really good. Matthew, I'm really good. Can you give me something slightly better? Okay, I'm great. Okay, great. Now feel it. Feel it. Why are you so great? And this is where I'm going to come on to the next tip. Gratitude. Now, gratitude is just giving that thanks, the appreciation for, it could be small things, it could be big things, it doesn't matter, but it fills you up with positivity. Your energy level increases to this level. And what that means is you're vibrating at this positive level, which means you're going to start to attract all of the events, the people, the situations, the circumstances that are in direct vibrational resonance and energetic level as you, which means in the business world, you will start to get the sale. You will start to, you know, have the wins. You will start to see the opportunities flowing in without the masculine do. I've got to pick up the phone. I've got to ring this person. I've got to meet that person in the wrong energy. Whereas if you go inside, have that gratitude. And so it's just a case of simply saying, I'm so happy and grateful for, and then just name three things. My water, my eyesight, the sunlight that I can see all around me, and then just feel that inside. And when you do that, it will uplift your energy in the workplace. And the power of those two small exercises is phenomenal.
Wow. I mean, and it's totally infectious, right? Because when someone like you, Sharon, steps into an office, you know, people that are kind of miserable and are waiting to go home and like looking at emails that they don't need to look at, they suddenly get infected by this kind of vibration, and then the frequency lifts and things start to happen, right? Is that correct? It's like a domino effect.
It is. People used to say to me, Matthew, in the corporate office, and I used to work in Birmingham for a bank and in the financial markets team. And I used to come into the office, you know, I've been stuck on the M6, which is like a major motorway in the UK. And I used to be stuck in traffic for an hour, back to back to back. Okay. My phone battery used to die. So I had no phone battery. It was cold. It was raining. I didn't even have an umbrella to walk to the office. My hair was like frizzy and I'm cold and it's wet outside. And I walk into that office and I'm like, I'm amazing. You know, we've got this. I've got this. And then the people in the office used to look at me and go, are you feeling okay? I said, I'm great. And they're like, what happy pills did you take today? I said, well, are you not great? Are you not the same? And they're like, I'm okay, Sharon, but I've got so much work to do. I said, yeah, I've got the same work to do as well, but isn't it great? And they used to look at me like I'm completely mad. But then what I did was after the transition point came for me when I had my children. Right. And I walked into the office and I thought my whole values have changed. My values is now for my children, my family. I love doing the work I do, but I had a different mentality. And that mentality, Matthew, was basically all of this stuff I'd been learning, this personal development stuff, like I've just shared some of it with you. I've got to teach others. I've got to put it in some sort of framework. I've got to put it into some sort of corporate structure, like a program for the corporate world. And I've got to teach this stuff. So as well as my day job, I got involved in a networking group within the banking company I used to work for. And then literally weeks, I was promoted to the director of courses and events because I had all of these mindset ideas. I said, we need to talk about confidence. We need to talk about goal setting, but in a different approach, energetic goal setting. We need to talk about culture alignment in a different setting to do with how you're feeling inner and how you're promoting yourself in the outer world for the collective consciousness of the organization and all the stakeholders. So I kind of took the framework, the holistic framework, and built it for the corporate world. And then I started doing workshops. And the more workshops I did in-house, And the first workshop was like 10 women. And then it grew to like 15, and then it grew to 25, and then it grew to a waiting list. And it was like, Sharon, is this your day job? I was like, no, my day job is trading currencies for customers and looking at loans and interest rate risk management protection products, and looking at interest rates, and being on stage talking to farmers and the professional world about the economy. I said, this is just my hobby.
Okay.
And it was like, and you know something else, the feedback forms were like 10 out of 10. She really means business. She's like the most charismatic trainer that's really got a vested interest in the stuff that she's actually teaching. And everybody said to me they've never been to a training course like this before in corporate, because the trainers have got a different energetic, you know, persona and the way that they're teaching it. And this is real life energetic selling and marketing that I was teaching these people. So it was amazing.
It's phenomenal. And I just love the way that you sort of, you know, bring that, because coming from that hard-nosed world of, you know, currency trading, financing, corporate banking, I mean, it's cutthroat, right? Especially like 20 years ago. I mean, it's like hardcore, cutthroat, very male red alpha energy, you know, sort of do or die stuff, right? And to bring a kind of a raising of vibration into that arena, if you're watching this, guys, this is it powerful what Sharon's done, you know, is absolutely incredible. But guess what? That raising of the frequency will always bring results, okay? Because you're raising frequency, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon, because this is your process, right? You're opening up potential, which opens up new layers of limitless, you know, consciousness, okay? So hats off to you.
Thank you.
I wish I'd have known you 20 years ago. Oh gosh, we could have some fun on the sales floors.
But the funny thing here is because my job was predominantly like client facing. So up and down the UK, I used to see a lot of clients, whether it's manufacturing clients, healthcare, farming industry. It was all the different professions. And the funny thing was here that when I started teaching these workshops on the side, like, you know, once a week, just doing it as well as the day job, which I loved with a passion, you know, teaching all this stuff to other people, because it was impacting the organization as well as the personal individual as well. What I realized was a lot of clients that I was seeing, they actually said to me at the end of the business meeting, Sharon, how long have you been working for the bank? Is there any chance you can come and work for us? And I said, well, I have no property experience, or I have no whatever the industry was, I have no experience in this. And they said, you know what, we'll find a role for you. I just need you in my workforce. And I got this. In the 1 week, I got 3 job offers, and I came home to my husband and I said, oh my gosh, I could work in Hereford, or I could work in Shrewsbury, because this property company, or Oxford, this property company has just offered me a job, and they said they're going to double the pay from the bank, and they don't even know what I'm earning and all of this stuff. And I was like, I don't understand, because all I did was I just presented them my interest rate risk management presentation, and at the end they're saying to me, do you want to have a job? And I'm like, okay. I mean, I never took them up on obviously any of that, because I loved what I did in the banking industry with a passion. I just loved it, being around these type of people and these personalities and these, you know, executives and stuff. But it was eye-opening to see that what was actually going on, and these opportunities that were coming to me because of my energetic framework.
Energetic framework. I absolutely love it. It's so true, because it resonates at an energetic level, and people can't resist. So for you guys and girls out there in business who are trying to make irresistible offers, okay, the real irresistibility is when you do what Sharon does, okay, follow her process, raise your frequency, because the vibration, okay, logically it might not make sense. Play with it and watch the results. They will make sense, because, you know, people can't resist it. You know, I sort of, you know, do business with a lot of high net worth individuals now, and people often wonder, Matt, how do you get in with all these international guys? And it very simply, my frequency is focused on that, and it comes to you, right? So Sharon's dropping some real gold. Sharon, I want to ask you a question, then please feel free to just discuss whatever you want to discuss, because there's so much gold here. I almost feel rude asking you questions, okay? And I know the viewers are going to get so much value. I know there's people out there in the UK, in the US and Europe and the Far East that will be watching this show, either on the recording, okay, that are in business, maybe gone through redundancy, maybe having to pivot, maybe unfortunately lost family members, or gone through some difficult times during the last 18 months of the pandemic, which we've never seen before in our lifetimes, okay? And some of them might be thinking, this is great, but right now, I just need to get my income back. Right now, I just need to get my health back. Right now, I've been locked down, not me personally, but you know, they may be saying that they've been locked down and you know, they've not been getting on with their partner because they're always in each other's space because of the lockdowns and stuff. And, you know, what do I do? Those kind of people going through really tough, you know, they've had a real tough time, some of them. What would you say to them? What are some practical, simple steps that they can take just to start the process to move towards, you know, what you do so elegantly, creating the life they really want where anything is possible?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you for that question, and feel free to ask me any questions, but that question is very, I would say, important, especially because of everything that we've gone through, and we've all been affected, you know, one way or another. I mean, even with me coming out of the corporate world, starting my business last year, you know, my dad passed away, so there's a lot of, you know, things that we've all been impacted on, you know, no matter what our journey is. But what I would say is, and after I've answered this, I'm going to talk to you about how I can actually help you, because this is exactly, you know, my bag. This is my jam. This is what I help my private personal clients with, overcoming that personal limitation and really believing in themselves where anything is possible. But a simple exercise that I'm going to give you right now, if you're listening to this and you are facing with, whether, you know, you're facing with personal struggles, whether you're working or you're in a relationship and you're thinking, do you know what, I've just lost that spark in my relationship and I just feel lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I want to be here or not. Or if you're in work and you're just feeling undervalued, like you're going for that next step promotion, but no matter what you do, you can't seem to be getting that appreciation. You can't seem to be getting acknowledged or even getting forward for that promotion. And you just feel like you're not good enough. You've got low self-esteem, low self-worth, low confidence. And then it comes back down to the lack of self-worth, the lack of self-love. Okay, so I'm going to give you probably a couple of techniques if I can, because I've just thought of another one that's really powerful, if that's okay, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the first one is what I'm going to say. It's a really simple technique, but it's really it's simple technique. It's easy to do, but it's so easy not to do. And it's as simple as this. If I was to ask you right now, and Matthew, you can join in. You don't have to share your answer if you don't want to. Where do you love yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the highest. Right now, where would you say you loved yourself?
So me personally, I'm an 8.5.
You don't have to share. Mine's a 10. Okay, mine's a 10. Ooh. Sometimes it's a 9.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm an 8.5, I think, today.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm an 8.5 today.
Awesome. Okay. So bearing in mind what Matthew has answered that question as, okay, whatever your question, whatever your answer is there that you're listening. So whether it's a 5, whether it's a 2, and there's no judgment. Okay. There's no judgment and there's no feeling of guilt here. But I'm going to now challenge you the next question. Okay. So whatever your answer is, and I'm going to use Matthew as an example here. So Matthew said he's an 8.5. Okay. Why is it not a 10? What is the difference of that? What is the difference for it to get to a 10? Matthew said it's an 8.5. So what is that 1.5% difference? That 1.5%. What is that difference? Why is it not a 10? What are you saying to yourself that's not allowing you to get that to a 10?
I think for me right now, Sharon, it's just a decision. Like just as we're talking about it, I'm kind of deciding to be a 10. There's a kind of feeling that I'm looking for. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's just a decision.
What comes up for you? I mean, could it be, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth here, but could it be like, I don't feel I'm worthy to say a 10. I don't feel I should be a 10 because looking at everybody else, or I'm just a bit tired, or I'm having an off day, or, whatever it is that your mind is saying to you, and I'm not saying there's any right or wrong here.
Absolutely.
You're just trying to establish in your mind. So, yeah.
I think what's coming up for me, by the way, I'm having a great day interviewing you and sharing this discussion. I think what's coming up for me is kind of trying to be reasonable. So I'm trying to be a bit reasonable, trying to be an interviewer. I'm trying to be a bit reasonable. And for me, a 10 is kind of like a little bit unreasonable in this moment. But I think I'm going there.
Okay, so could it be saying that you're kind of looking at external validation because you're interviewing me at the moment, and you're kind of trying to think of the rational, is that right? Am I getting that right? The rational
I'd say
point
so.
of view that you don't feel you should be rooting for a 10?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Thank you for being so honest there. Thank you for being so honest. And this is a key thing here that I want to mention, okay? Because so many of us, okay, not to say anything about Matthew here, because he's great, but so many of us look at external validation, okay? What are other people going to think of me if I say I'm a 10? What's going to happen? What are the external situations, the events, the circumstances? Oh, we're in a pandemic. The coronavirus hasn't still sorted out. I can't possibly be loving myself and feeling happy and great because look at my next door neighbor, look at my friend who's suffering, look at my cousin, they're really going through so much pain. But so I shouldn't feel like that, and I should be really rational, logical, the logical left side of the brain. Okay, let's open up the intuition on the right side of the brain and marry the masculine and feminine energy. So I'm conscious of the time here, so I'm just going to round this one off. So first of all, rate yourself 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Where do you love yourself? And then question, well, why am I getting this? And why is it not a 10? Okay. And there's no judgment and there's no guilt. Just write it down, get yourself a pen and paper, write it all down in your notebook. Nobody has to see it. Okay. And this is the first thing I start with my clients. And I've had clients that have come to me saying it's a 1 out of 10. Wow. And I'm going to give you an example here of a recent client. Saying recent, it's been probably about 12 weeks, and short space of time she came to me. She said, I don't even know why I'm living. I don't know why I'm living. I'm in this relationship with my husband. We've been childhood lovers. We got married, arranged marriage. She's Asian, and now we're like ships in the night. We don't talk. We've got our child, and I'm just living for my child. I'm going to work. I'm feeling really undermined, undervalued. No appreciation. I go for promotions, I don't get them. I've lost my self-worth, self-confidence, all of that. I feel I'm on the floor. Help. Okay, help. So one of the exercises I'm going to give you, another exercise if you're listening, is get a pen and paper. In the middle, I want you to put a line down the middle of the page. On the left-hand side, I want you to write how you are feeling. What are your beliefs coming up? Like for example, if you're looking to get a promotion at work, or you're looking to have the most incredible relationship, on the left hand side, write what you currently think. So are you thinking, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough, I haven't got the confidence to apply for that job, I haven't got the confidence to talk to my husband about how we can change the dynamics of our relationship, whatever it is. I want you to write down all of the issues, all of the personal limitations, the fears, the doubts, the concerns. Make that list on the left-hand side. Okay. Then what I want you to do, step number 2, is ask yourself, when you go down this list, is this really true? So for example, I'm not good enough to apply for the job. Is it really true? How do you know that? Has somebody told you? Did your next door neighbor knock on the door and tell you you shouldn't apply for that job because you're not good enough? You're never going to get that job. Who's told you? Where is your evidence? Because what happens with our conscious and subconscious mind, the subconscious kicks in with old memories from childhood or past life or DNA ancestral chain or your soul path, and it will form you old evidence to say you can't do that thing today. Okay, so you question yourself. Is it true? Yes or no? And if you say no, which is great, that's what I want you to say. is you then turn that negative into a positive. It's called an affirmation. So you turn the negative to a positive and you say, I am good enough to apply for the job. Yeah. So you say, I am worthy enough and confident enough to go and speak to my husband about XYZ or whatever it is. If you, though, say yes to yourself, that actually, I'm not good enough to apply for this job. Is it true? Yes. We'll actually think, okay, you're saying to yourself, yes, it's true. Why is it true? What's your evidence? Who told you? And then I want you to get a separate piece of paper and write down, why is it true that you're not good enough? Is it because your teacher told you when you were 5 years old that you painted the picture in the wrong color? So you're not good enough to apply for that job? Sorry, I'm getting really passionate now, but I've seen this so many times with hundreds and hundreds of women I've worked with. And what happens, and this is, I guess, how I can help you if you're listening and you really want to have that support and you're ready to go all in and you're ready to stop playing small, is come and talk to me. Because what I do is through a theta healing session, which includes hypnosis, it includes all the umbrella stuff of everything I've done, as well as being a natural psychic medium and everything else. So all of my experience into the session. And what we do is we go through what your personal limitations are, what your fears, your doubts, your concerns. So as an example, with that client that I spoke about, that she said she was 2 out of 10 about loving herself, and her relationship dynamics were just like there was none, and she was really undervalued at work. What happened was we basically delved into the subconscious level, and through the subconscious, which is all the memories, which is all your belief system, we went back into her childhood through timeline therapy and hypnosis, and we uncovered so many memories and trauma and things that she didn't even think was an issue. For example, her parents saying stuff to her when she was a child, some comparison between her and her cousins. She went through some sort of trauma that the subconscious mind had literally suppressed in the body. Right. And we literally uncovered this, we healed it, and we downloaded empowering beliefs, which now has brought her self-love to an 8 out of 10. She resigned from her job at the third session. She came back to me and she said, Sharon, I just need to tell you, I've resigned from my job. I said, oh my gosh, you resigned from your job? How come? She said, well, I just felt, what the hell am I doing here? I'm so confident. I'm worth so much more. I can get a better job elsewhere. So I've just handed my notice in. I said, fantastic. How do you feel? She says, Sharon, I feel freaking amazing. I said, how are you then? She says, I'm great. And that was somebody that said to me at the first session, I don't even know why I'm living, Sharon. I don't know what to do. I've come to you. I don't know what to do. Wow. And literally a few weeks ago, she sent me a text message. And that was probably, I've been in contact with her for 10 weeks. She's applied for so many jobs and she's got a job. And it's basically working less hours and it's more money. She can spend more time with her child, and the dynamics of her relationship, her husband, have completely transformed. It's like they have date nights and they have special evenings and everything. And she's really resparkled that relationship. And she's a totally different person, that she's now kind of referred about 3 more people to me, and they've referred more people to me. And she just says to them, she says, I don't know what Sharon does exactly with her hypnosis and everything else, but she can really help you. And so these people come to me with complete faith and trust. And they say to me, I don't know how you're going to help me, but she said you can help me because you've helped her. Can you help me? And I'm like, yes, I can help you. And then they refer me to more people. And so through word of mouth, people are coming to me for help. And it's phenomenal to see the changes. And I'm so passionate about seeing these incredible changes.
And rightly so, Sharon. I mean, you're making huge impact, with your clients, and it all has a domino effect. So even if they're not referring clients, which they are, because you're so great at what you do, that's the natural outcome of that. But their life just improves, and then everyone connected. We're all connected, right? So you're just raising, we all raise together. So I really salute you for, your work and your passion with your work, stepping away from a very lucrative career to do something even more lucrative, right? And more, fulfilling. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Ladies and gents, we do have a special gift from Sharan. She's been very, very kind. And it's going to be in the YouTube links, okay? She's got an ebook for you. So we're not just leaving you with an interview. She's got an ebook. You can follow Sharan. We're going to leave all the links on the YouTube. So do sort of go down into the YouTube and subscribe, like the video, of course, okay? But also you can find all of Sharan's links, which will be there. 1 second. I'll just try put in the wrong link, okay? So you can find all of Sharan's links. They'll be in the YouTube, so easy for you to click on. I highly recommend working with Sharan. I know for some of you, some of the things Sharan spoke about may be a little bit of a stretch, but remember, you don't get a different result by doing the same thing you've always done, okay? This stuff really works, I'm telling you. And Sharan is the, you know, she's living it. She's absolutely living it. And it's just so wonderful to have you on the show. I was looking for, you know, the first female guest. We had 2 male guys, you know, and I wanted the first female guest to kind of really embody, like, sort of all this stuff, right? And, you know, I sort of asked my unconscious mind, as we do, and my unconscious mind just really directed me towards you, Sharan. I'm really, really grateful to you for spending this hour with us, for sharing so openly, and just being a source of positivity, goodness, excellence, and abundance in this time that many people find themselves in. Last word, Sharan, if you could just maybe give us some last words, that'd be really, really awesome if you're open to do that. But I really appreciate you.
Definitely, and thank you for that. And feel free to have the download the free ebook. It's all to do with gratitude. So my final thoughts, and I'm going to give it you in a mantra, if that's okay. Yeah, so please. The mantra is very simple. It's 6 words. I can, I will, and I am. So the mantra to take away is I can, I will, and I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharan. Really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much for sharing so openly. My name is Matt W. Nerona. My time is pretty much up. I want to once again just thank the absolutely awesome Sharan Sammi for sharing so much of her process and what she does with her clients. And, you know, as the great Tony Robbins said, never leave the scene of opportunity without taking action. So your action point, ladies and gents, today, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, but most importantly, go through Sharan's links on the YouTube, follow this exceptional lady, and start to move your life in the right direction. Thank you so much.